Tape script 1.7. Things I miss from home. Margaret.
There's only one thing I really miss about where I come from, and that's the sea. I'm originally from Yorkshire, and although I came to live here in Germany 30 years ago, I still miss the northeast coast of England. There's just something about the sea. Where I live now, there's a river, and I often go down to it. There's some nice walks along the banks. It's lovely, but it's not really the same. The thing about the sea is that it changes all the time. And not just every day, but every time of day. Every wave that comes is different from the last one. In my hometown, when the tide comes in, the water comes right up the road, and then, when it goes out, there's just miles and miles of sand. It can take an age to walk to the sea. It's a source of amazement to me every time I see it.
Mary.
The thing I miss about Scotland is probably the weather, believe it or not. Up there, the air is quite crisp and clear, and the temperature is cooler. I find where I live now, in Madrid, it gets so hot and humid in summer, and a little bit sticky as well.
Rob.
All right, well, I've been living in France for the last 20 years, and I suppose the things I miss most about Britain, my original home, is, well, first of all, the obvious things, like every Brit living abroad. I miss some typical English foods. For me, that means curry, digestive biscuits, brown sauce, porridge, and, of course, good English bitter beer. What else do I miss? Socially, I think I miss the way that people go out together in Britain. I miss the chat, the banter. I miss meeting friends in pubs. Or the way that people talk to each other at football matches. I miss that sparky British humour on a day-to-day basis. On a perhaps a more serious note, I miss having a vote. In Britain, you lose your vote once you've been out of the country for more than 15 years, and because I haven't taken French nationality, I don't have a national vote here. So I don't get to vote anywhere these days. I guess that's one of the things I miss most.
Joe.
So things that I miss about the UK? The first would be bread. The bread here in the States seems to stay too fresh for a long time. And it doesn't actually make particularly good toast. And being British, toast is an important thing. And another important thing is related to work. I found working in the US surprisingly different from the UK. In the US, it's very important to be very upbeat and positive about what you can do, which, is true to a certain extent in the UK. But I think in the UK, it's kind of okay to be good at what you do and just get on with it. Over here, you're kind of expected to be a salesman, like you should be selling yourself and your abilities. I guess in a way, the Brits are just a bit more modest at work. And I kind of like that modesty. I'm not particularly good at selling myself. I just like to get on with my job, and I don't feel the need to tell everyone how good I am, but that's kind of the way things are over here.
Tatiana and Sem.
One thing I miss living in England is the food from back home. All the seasonal products and the enjoyment of going to the farmer's market to buy fresh cottage cheese from a lady that your grandma has known since you were little.
That's right. Apricots, melons, tomatoes just don't taste right in this country.
Yeah, and it seems that the most elusive fruit here is a ripe watermelon. I keep buying them, but every single one is a disappointment. I'll always miss the watermelons we used to get from the south of Ukraine.
That's right. So, enough about food. What I miss most is the language. There is nothing quite like walking along the street and feeling like you are part of something bigger than yourself. hearing your own language. I always feel a bit small when I'm abroad, and all I hear is a foreign language. It's like I'm a bit insecure, and I'm missing something. It's hard to explain.
I know what you mean. Also, I find it hard to be away from home on national holidays. Some of our traditions are just impossible to recreate. You just don't get the same feeling of people coming together to celebrate in the streets.
Sean.
I live with my dad on the East Coast, but I visit my mom in Florida lots of times a year. The one thing I miss is my drums. You see, I'm in a rock band, but I can't travel with my kit, so I have to leave it at home. Dude, it's like torture. I can't wait to get home to Dad's and sit at my drums and get playing again. My mom says I miss them more than I miss her.